Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Expedition League 3.15. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys build upgrades I planned and done for my Stone Golem budget build. So this is the first step of upgrading the budget Stone Golem build. We're going to do it that way. So let's go into game and show you guys what I have done, and I'll even show you a search after on how you can do this yourselves, because I think that can be very important to help you be able to trade better. So to start it off, basically the main concept that I started with was this league is very rippy, and so I wanted to I have 144 deaths. I wanted to add a Cast on Death portal to my build, but it's 2 extra gems, and I didn't want to lose Convocation and Desecrate from the build. And so I was like, how do I fit this? So I thought 2 unset rings, but if I go 2 unset rings, I lose the implicits from my rings, which is extra resistance, so that means I would have to get better items in my build. So I ended up spending more currency on a glove, belt, boot, Ammy, 2 rings. So now I'll go through what I did for them. So you can tell on the glove, I did this one first. I looked for 70 life, 26 chaos res, and one of 3 reses, cold, fire, or lightning, and then an open suffix. So the glove is insane, and I was actually able to cap my resistances, including chaos, without the suffix on the glove. So I actually have an extra mod on the glove, and then it was open prefix, so I could craft minion damage for 3 chaos. And then I looked for an Ammy with 70 life, 21 chaos, and some element, cold, fire, or lightning. And then I did the boot next, which was life, chaos, move speed, open suffix. I couldn't get an extra res, it was too expensive or didn't exist, and so I did that. And then I did the belt, life, double res, no chaos, because I already had enough chaos. As you can see, I did fire and chaos, I did lightning chaos, and then I did the minion damage, and I also did fire chaos on the helmet. On the rings and Ammy, I crafted endurance charges, minimum endurance charges, so I have 3 endurance charges always again. I love doing this every season because 12% physical damage reduction for 3 is amazing. It cost me 3 divine orbs. And so for the rings, I went for life, fire, life, lightning, because I already had enough cold from the glove and the boot. And the Ammy, sorry. The glove, the Ammy, and the chestplate even has some. As you can see, I'm pretty high on cold. And so I did fire and lightning rings. This might be different for you if you get a fire glove or a lightning glove, and same thing with the Ammy. If your second mod instead of cold was fire or lightning, then you might need one of those, just saying. So for the Ammy, I just looked for an unset ring with life and fire res, and then life and lightning res with an open suffix. So these are like 10C, but if you try to get chaos on them, either you won't find them, they don't exist, or they're going to be way too expensive. And so this is our cheap way of getting the build capped, because gloves and boots and Ammys are easier than unset rings. Unset rings are pretty expensive because they're very popular. As you can see, I just added 2 entire gems to my build with the power of unset rings, and then with this swap, this upgrade, I was able to add the 3 endurance charges. And then because my Ammy is 76 life, 30 cold, 22 chaos, and an endurance charge, it's a pretty good Ammy. I figured I could put Ravenous Horde on, so I anointed Ravenous Horde. It's 2 opalescent and a verdant oil. And then I want to show you guys how I actually did this now. So I've talked about why I did it. I got 2 extra unset rings. I get Flame Dash, Convocation in my rings. I also did the thing where you take your level 20 gem to the vendor and you sell it with a GCP, and it gives you back. I can actually show you with a gem I didn't do, if I have one. Yeah, Pride. So level 20 Pride, you can sell it to the vendor with 1 GCP. This is a vendor recipe, and it'll give you back a level 1 with 20 quality. And then you can level it back up. So I'm doing that to a bunch of my gems, like a level 13 Ruthless, 9 melee phys. The minion damage is 11. Yeah, I was re-leveling my gems after flipping them. That's what they call it. And then, so I have this huge upgrade now. We have all those gems leveling, so free quality. We're res capped, chaos res capped, decent armor, and we have endurance charges in the build. We feel so much better than we did before. And I also changed this flask to have use when you take a savage hit instead of use on travel skill. And to do that, you just roll them with instilling orbs, and it changes the effect. So I'll show you the ones I have just as a update to the past. So as I've automated all 4 of these. So my Quicksilver gets used when I reach full, which is basically when I kill a pack. It's going to overflow and then get used. This one, Quartz, I never touch it, and it just automatically activates when I get frozen and unfreezes me and gives me phasing. It's really nice. Corundum is used on full, and if I get stunned during it, so basically 5 seconds of stun immunity, because during it, if I get stunned, I'll be stun immune, and so that's really fun. And then I did a use on savage hit for the shock on a granite flask. Then I just I click this hollowed life flask myself. This should be a divine if I had a choice, but I got lucky on a hollowed life flask during leveling, and I never improved it. But instant recover bleed is really fun. We could also go forbidden taste with our chaos being 75. It's an option. And I use this mana flask, enduring mana flask with curse immune when I run a cannot regen map. It doesn't happen that often, but now I'll show you guys how I actually did the search, because it's pretty interesting. So I'll give you the example of a glove, because that's the start of this whole thing. So you would search gloves, and then I do 1 armor minimum and 0 evasion. I do 0 evasion because I don't want an evasion glove. And then I would search, let's say, like 80 life, 26 chaos, 20. I do 26 because it's 26 to 35. So you could actually, 26 to 30. This is T2, and it's 31 to 35. So this just breaks into the T2 mark. So you could technically divine orb this if you find a 26 to 30. You could actually get 30 out of this. But then yeah, I'll actually do 70 life. And then the way I do the next thing is you just add an extra category called count, and you can do res. And you can search cold, fire, and lightning. And then we can add the number. And then we can do another count, and this is another really cool one. So you can do suffix, crafted suffix modifiers, and empty suffix modifiers, and you can put 1 for each of them. And so now it'll do 1 of these 3 and 1 of these 2. So either a crafted suffix modifier or an empty suffix modifier, guaranteeing you an open suffix search. You see 2 results, and you get 40. I saw this one earlier. It was decent, but it's an ES glove, so it has 92 armor. Mine has 334 armor. This one has 413. So then if you came to this situation, you're like, bro, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. You could change the chaos down to 21. That usually helps. Now you got 4 more results. You could technically lower the HP to 55. That got us 3 more results. And you could technically lower these resistances to 20. Obviously, there weren't that many of a glove as good as mine. And technically, you could change the evasion thing, and now you get even more. So 34 options. So this might be affordable for you guys as like a real glove to use in your build. I just wanted to show you the one. And then you can basically expand this to do it for each item. So, for example, boot. And then you would just add movement speed. And you could do 25 or 30. I'll do 25 for this search. Found 20 results. Decent prices. And you could also then delete this, and you could go, I'll do the ring for an example. You wouldn't have the chaos, let's say 55, 20, sure. Let's try to do 2 of them, open suffix. You don't have armor because it's a ring, and you need an unset, so 1 socket. 30C, 40C, yeah, so you can see getting 2 resistances that are 20, and then you want to get the resistances that work with the other items that you got. But yeah, open suffix, pretty cool. And I did an Ami with chaos res as well. And then for the amulet, I'll show you the special thing I did, which was I did, so you can see all this. Let's say you have the chaos and a res, and then we're open suffix you want, but we also want to do this. because in my build you want dex on the Ami, so that you don't have to build dex anywhere. So we can get dex for a Jade Ami, and you can get strength and dex for a Citron Ami. And if you search 1-1, now it guarantees that if it finds it, it's going to do that. And then on my Ami, apparently what I searched for doesn't exist anymore. So you could delete a res, or you could delete the chaos, and figure it out what you would like to buy. And then when you do these kind of searches, you could actually raise the life if you delete stuff, because you could probably find higher. But then if we delete the chaos, 367 results. With chaos, it was 6 results. So something similar to mine's kind of hard to do. But you also, as I showed, the glove, I had an open suffix, so I could have actually crafted more chaos res. And I could go for a different chestplate. It didn't have to be life, cold, and phys damage reduction, armor, etc. Yeah. Either way, hope that helps people who are trying to do these kind of searches themselves. This is how I upgraded the build next. I wanted to prioritize upgrading my endurance charges, so physical damage reduction. I wanted to get my chaos res capped. I wanted to get more armor, and I wanted to get unset rings in the build, because as I'm pushing the Atlas around T14, T16, well, probably T15, T16, it started to get really rippy because I run things like this. Elemental weakness, double projectiles on a ghetto map, and there's also this one, elemental weakness beyond. And as we see, we're not LA weakness immune, especially with 60% increased effect of curses, so they hurt a lot. And I love Cast on Death Portal, and the only tip that I shouldn't have to mention is when you're doing it in maps, you're gonna want to portal before a conqueror, because you can't cast on death portal in a conch fight. You can't portal in a conqueror room, so you have to do it outside the boss room. Just a small tip. And like elder boss as well, if you do one of those elder maps, for example, courtyard, I have elder for the purifier. In the actual purifier room, you can't teleport, so you have to do it in the boss room before it. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed these upgrades. I'm going to obviously leave a POB in the description below for the upgrade POB. And this is step 1 of my upgrades. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all the support. And thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon or the YouTube members today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!